Hello, all. It is Scott, also known as the artist we forgot, and I am here with Ways We Forgot, day 13, I believe, of content. It's a Monday, and yeah, still a little bit smoky here in Bellingham, but it's starting to clear up a little bit. I live on a lake, so the place exactly on the lake that I live is sort of in a valley, so it collects all the smoke a little bit more, but it does seem a bit clearer today. And so, yeah, today has been a great day. I did have to do some stuff a little bit differently in order. And I did have a little bit of a slower start. Some days that's just the way it is. But I really am making this effort to make all of this happen and know that these are activities that fill my life. When I say these, doing this Ways We Forgot, so vlogging, doing music every day, meditating every day. I have some cacao that I'm getting ready to drink. I'm letting it cool down a little bit, and then I'll be doing some breath work. But I'm getting to this a little bit later today than I usually do. And then, yeah, my roommates are watching the Seahawks. Actually, we didn't even mean to dress with the Seahawks colors, but they're wearing like really bright green, almost green screen jerseys and pants for their team, which is pretty funny. I'm not like a massive football fan. It's sort of like a Christian that just goes to the big holidays, so the Easter and the Christmas services. I'll sometimes watch like an early game, which this is the first Seahawks game, or I'll watch the Super Bowl, but mostly just to hang out. And I don't even think I'm really going to watch much of today's game, but it is, happening. And that sort of goes into that whole tradition thing that we were talking about in ceremony. For a lot of people, that is, their tradition. It's their ceremony. Getting together, watching the game with friends and family, and really getting to experience that as the culture. And I could argue even like TV shows and music releases and video game releases could also be looked at in a similar way. Sometimes it's really fun when you are with the culture and you're able to talk, the water cooler talk with your friends and family about the newest, coolest thing that's coming out. Another thing that's coming out that's in that same vein, Apple has a bunch of new stuff. For me, this is a weird musing, but I'm just sort of thinking about how, these things connect. But for me, growing up, I always really enjoyed E3. That was like sort of like a holiday for me, and getting to talk to all of my friends about the new video games that were coming out. And I do still follow video games. I don't play them as much, and if I do, I usually try to make them co-op games, or at least be in a place where I'm switching controllers. But even that, I don't have as much time as I used to. I'm amazed that I had even as much time to play all the video games, go to school, do all of the things when I was growing up. Don't feel like I have that much time to do all those things now. But I still really appreciate it and like it. I can see that it can become a bit of a suck, but I can also see how it really can help people. But back in that, we're back to the tradition and the ceremony. It's like when these companies would all announce their new stuff, that's, this big culture thing, and all the people sort of get around it and talk about it and get excited about it around those times. And E3, which was the Electronics Expo back in the day, would be one of those moments that we would all sort of gather around. But they stopped doing that. I think this was maybe the first year or maybe the second year that they decided not to. And so everybody just sort of does it on their own. And it's funny because Nintendo earlier this morning announced that they were going to be having what they call a direct, which is just them talking about what's new and cool coming up. And they hadn't done one for a bit. So people were like, well, what's happening for the rest of this season and what's happening at the beginning of next year? So they held off on talking about that. And then later that day, today, Sony announced that they're basically doing their version of the Direct also. So it's sort of fun that both of those are happening tomorrow. And, I'll definitely geek out on that stuff. And And I might even have like a little reaction video on my other YouTube channel, which is just We Forgot. But yeah, it's so funny how we, as culture, sort of gather around these different events. I even hear how excited my roommates are right now. And they just got a bunch of food. And yeah, celebrating with community, celebrating with family can be a lot of fun. And, you know, more reasons to do that is great. And, you know, some of them can be a little bit more mentally and spiritually filling. Though I would argue, I mean, that these things can definitely be that for people. Yeah. So what kind of, again, sort of even expanding on that question from yesterday, what are some of these, traditions and ceremonies that you enjoy? Getting together with friends to do this or that. It doesn't have to be a big cultural ceremony. It doesn't have to be a big cultural tradition. It can be, you know, between some friends. What do you do that's sort of a regular occurrence, you know, yearly or bi-yearly or quarterly or whatever, that you get to enjoy and that you look forward to, that fills your cup, that makes you feel, you know, powerful and more with the whole of all being. Uh, so for some people, football, some people, video games, some people, Apple products, you know, it's all of that. And yeah, I think that's probably what I got to talk about today. So I hope everybody's doing awesome, and I will see you all soon. Again, my name's Scott. It's been Ways We Forgot, and I will be doing my improv offering in just a moment and my acoustic offering in just a moment. So I'll talk to you all very, very soon.